Here's one of the things I've learned about business over the past 18 years. I used to try to fit myself into a box. Everything was time blocked and scheduled, and I had this idea, and I think this is like conventional productivity advice, that if I could just time block my life and turn myself into a machine, then I would be more productive, I get more done, and my business would be more successful. And I tried that for years. Every Friday, I would have a block on my calendar for creating content. And I would sit down and I'd spend 2 or 3 hours writing out the content for the next week. And I'd have scheduled blocks for marketing and for sales and for admin. And what I found was, my business worked on some level, but I always felt like I was pushing myself to do a bunch of things I didn't really want to do. And when I look back and I read all of that content, it just feels dead. It feels totally dead. It's like totally lifeless. And what I realized over years and years of doing this, and then letting go of this and now showing up in my business a very different way, was that there's a new way, another way, we'll just say that, another way of showing up in business that feels so much better, at least to me. And not only that, but allows you to create in a way that is so much more aligned with your natural rhythms. So for me, what this looks like today is I don't time block anything. I mean, sometimes when I have a meeting or something like that, obviously it's on my calendar, but for the most part, I wake up every day and I ask myself, God, what am I supposed to do today? And like the last 4 days, I've been in bed. I've been hanging out because the answer I got was, it's not time to build right now. It's time to relax. So I laid in bed, I read, I went on a hike yesterday, and it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And, there's part of my mind that still has a little bit of trouble with that, if I'm being honest. But here's what I found. There's other days I wake up and I'm like, today I feel so good. I have so much energy. I'm so ready to go. And I just feel like content is just like pouring out of me. And there's an energetic that you start to step into when you let go of all of the rigidity, all of the layers of structure that actually cut you off from your own authentic flow. What happens is your business becomes a living, breathing expression of who you really are. People feel you differently. Your content lands differently because when you're creating, you're not creating with this energy of, I don't want to be here. There's so much content on the internet. The reason why people don't respond or resonate is because it was written by someone who was forcing themselves to create when they didn't really want to. And all of that energy of resentment is embedded into the content. And then you read it and it's not magnetic. But when you see someone who's just having a good time, who feels like they're full of life, who feels like they're expressing from a place like they want to share something, not because they feel like they have to or because it's time blocked on their calendar, but because it just feels aligned for them to talk about, lands completely differently, right? So this has been something that I've discovered over the past few years, and as I've let go more and more, I found a way of showing up in my business that just feels so easy. And paradoxically, I actually get more done. That's the weird thing. Like, I used to force myself to write sales emails because it was Thursday and I was like, well, I need to plan for this launch day, but I wasn't feeling like I actually wanted to. And it would take me like 6 hours to write 5 emails because I was so exhausted. And now today, I just have a moment where I'm like, oh, this is when the emails want to come out, and it takes me 20 minutes. Because when you're in the flow, when something's wanting to come through you, it happens so much faster and the energy is completely different. So I think this takes a level of surrender that I wasn't comfortable with for a long time. It took a lot of trust of letting, because what I found is most most entrepreneurs who overstructure, I'll just speak for myself, like for years I overstructured things in my business because I was afraid, because I was trying to control everything, because I thought that if I could control everything, then I would be safe. And it took me a long time, and it took me a lot of deep healing to realize that, number one. And number two, to actually create the internal safety in my nervous system to feel comfortable and safe letting go. It's like, it's easy to talk about, but actually what comes up when you let go of all the structure, I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's fear. It's fear like, okay, if I let go of everything, is my business just going to fall apart? Am I going to get my needs met? Am I going to be able to make enough money? There's all these fears that come up that cause us to run our business from our mind instead of our hearts. So this is a deep practice, and it's not easy to do. But as I've done this work over years, as I've created more internal safety, as I've created more trust in the universe, in this sense of when I let go of the steering wheel and I allow something more fluid, more unpredictable in a sense, something that I can't control, take the wheel, magic happens. So much more beautiful things happen in my life and my business when I'm not the one controlling everything. So if you're someone who is operating under that paradigm of scheduling everything, of treating yourself like a machine, where can you loosen, or where might you loosen? For me, it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like I just threw out my calendar, but it was like I started experimenting a little bit. Maybe a week I'd experiment with not blocking things off, or I started creating when I felt inspired instead of when I felt like I needed to block something off of my calendar to create for the next week. And that's my invitation to you today. It's a lot of fun. I just want to share this with people, honestly, because I just feel like I've discovered a way of doing business that not only works, but it works so much better, and it feels so much better too. That's what I want for you. So sending you lots of love today. Hope you're having a great day. I'm out here walking with my dog Boomer, so we're going to finish the walk, and I'll talk to you soon.